Anyway, there was a publication of the list of the states and the level of arrears. And it's quite clear that many states are in this debt trap. And from a humanitarian point of view, it will be very difficult to expect the president to settle down to work when there is this clamor for support on the backlog of arrears or of salaries. So it's natural for him to put a package together. And it has been a very vigorous approach. Not only that he's releasing some of the excess crude money, or most of it as a matter of fact, but he's also asked the bank to package an intervention fund of anywhere up to 500 billion, 300 billion naira for the bank, for the states to take advantage of. But also there are other monies that were coming in from NLNG, as you could see that also coming in. And it's not the end of the story yet, so that we expect more intervention. But in fact, you also see that they are prevailing on the commercial banks to extend the tenure of the loans from the states with some kind of guarantee from federal government, which is also very good, because what it does is that these commercial banks take the money from the source, and then you see some states going after the allocation, they get virtually nothing, because a lot of their money is being taken from the source. So rescheduling that would obviously give them some breathing space. And we do know that many of the states will wake up seriously on revenue generation. There's absolutely no question about that. But bear in mind that generating extra revenue also costs money. Rescheduling your finances also costs. Anything you want to do costs money. So it's important that this injection comes in to enable them. If you want to start a new business, it will cost you money. If you're expanding the business, it costs you money. Anything you want to do still costs you money. Even if you want to lay off staff, you have to pay them redundancy. It costs money. So it's important that this restructuring is done and the bailout comes in good time. But you're going to ask one question. If the states are allowed to borrow, as the federal government has been doing, to pay salaries, now there's going to be confusion, because we'll come back to 2003 when nobody knew how much Nigeria was owing. It took them about 2 or more years to actually count and know exactly how much Nigeria is owing. And this is likely what happened to Greece before 2008. The EU members were not sure what exactly Greece was owing until the 2008 crisis came out. They found out that instead of being at 3% of their budget deficit being 3% of the GDP, which is the rule in EU, they are over 12%. And then instead of the external debt being 60% maximum within the EU rules, they are now 190%. So we don't want to slide into that. We don't want to go there. But I do appreciate what the government is doing, because it's. How can you say there's no wisdom in an empty stomach? If somebody is very hungry and you can see the level of the crisis, you have to do something. This is pressing. Then you buy the time that you need. I understand that. There's no circumstance more special than the fact that the people can't feed themselves, people can't receive salaries, there's an explosion in many states, and then you have crisis and you have breakdown of law and order. What more crisis? But having said that, central bank is actually doing well, because what they have done by targeting 47 items and placing a limit, or denying them access to foreign exchange, is that they're beginning to attack the demand side of the foreign exchange. Unlike all the actions previously have been on the supply side and devaluation and all of that. But now they are tackling the demand side. So they will get the space, CBN will get the space that they need. So the intervention fund, the excess crude account fund, which is used to support the currency, would also get a breath of fresh air. So, but then I think there should be more in that list. And secondly, they have not banned any product. They just restricted the access to the foreign exchange for that particular purpose. That doesn't mean that people cannot use their own money to import those items. And I think also that there should be more support from the fiscal regime For example, the tariff wall ought to go up a little bit, just not by violating ECOWAS CET, but by using our other instrument like levy to beef up the duty, to raise the tariff wall so that the message is clearer, not just coming from central bank, but also coming from Federal Ministry of Finance.